I'm Janaki from Commerce B&I. Now I am going to take the course of Principles of Management. In Principles of Management, we are going to discuss about planning. Introduction. Every organization as part of its life cycle consistently engages in the four essential functions of management: planning, leading, organizing and controlling. The foremost of this is planning. It is the part of management concerned with creating procedures, rules and guidelines for achieving a stated objective. All other managerial functions must be planned if they are to be effective. Meaning, planning is an intellectual process of thinking resorted to decide a course of action which helps to achieve the predetermined objectives of the organization in future. Definition: Henry Fayol, planning is deciding the best alternatives among others to perform different managerial operations in order to achieve the predetermined goals. Next, characteristics of planning. Planning is looking into the future. It involves predetermined line of action. Next, it requires considerable time for implementation. Planning is a continuous and interdependent process. Planning object is to achieve predetermined objectives in a better way. It integrates various activities of organization. Planning is done for a specific period. Planning is required at all levels of management. It directs the members of an organization, and growth and prosperity of an organization depends upon the planning. Then, objectives of planning. The following are the objectives of planning. Planning reduces uncertainty of an organization, brings cooperation and coordination among various sections of the organization. Planning selects best alternative among various available alternatives, and it will lead to the best utilization of resources. Planning provides a provision to meet contingencies and tackle them successfully, achieving the predetermined goals of an organization. Planning reduces the competition and enables the enterprise to get a chance for growth. The nature of planning. Primary of planning. First one, the functions of management include planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. Planning is the primary function of all other functions. Then planning contributes to objectives. Planning is based on objectives. It contributes to the attainment of objectives. Then planning and intellectual activity. It includes selection of the best alternative available and thinking before the selection of best alternative. So planning is an intellectual activity. Planning results in higher efficiency. Planning efficiency is measured in terms of input and output ratios. Planning leads to maximum output with minimum expenditure. Planning is a continuous process. Planning is necessary to implement the decisions. A number of decisions are taken during the lifetime of the business concern. So, planning is necessary throughout the running of the business concern as a continuous process. Then, planning is flexible. Planning selects the best alternatives based on certain assumptions. There is a possibility of a deadlock in the functions of the management. Planning has one more alternative to suit future situations. Then unity and consistency. Managerial actions of different managers are unified in order to achieve the objectives. Policies and procedures of the organization provide a basis for the consistency of executive behavior and action in matters of planning. Planning is common to all. Planning work is done by every person who is working in the business unit. He may be director or foreman. So planning is common to all. Basis for all managerial functions. Planning is found at all levels of management. Top management looks after strategic planning. Middle management looks after administrative planning. Lower level management looks after operational planning. Next, getting coordination. Planning coordinates various business activities. Without planning, nothing can be coordinated. Considering limiting factors. Every plan is formulated after considering the limiting factors. The limiting factors may be money, skilled labor, quality materials, plant and machinery. Then, importance of planning. Planning is an important and basic function of management. It helps the businessman get early success. Success without planning is almost impossible in business. So the planning function is very important due to the following reasons. First one, to manage by objectives. All the activities of an organization are designed to achieve the framed objectives. However, planning makes the organization focus on the objectives for early achievement. Then convert uncertainty into certainty. Future is full of uncertainties. Thus, planning provides necessary provision to face the uncertainties. It involves the alternative course of action for the continuous growth and prosperity of organization. Next importance is economy in operation. It selects any one of the available alternatives which will help produce the best results at minimum cost. Help in coordination. The coordination is obtained by the management through planning, well-published policies, programs and procedures. So planning helps management get coordination. Then tackling increasing complexities of business. It is necessary for management to plan the business activities clearly, who is to do, what is to be done, where is to be done, when it is to be done and how is to be done. Then effective control. Planning without control is useless and control without planning is impossible. Without planning, there is no predetermined understanding of desired performance and controlling could not be accomplished. Effective utilization of resources. Planning involves deciding in advance of the business activities. Then it involves the effective utilization of resources at the cheapest and the best manner. Then avoiding business failures. Planning helps to avoid the failure of business to the optimum level in an organization. Next, steps in planning. Analysis of external environment. Necessary to consider the external environment of an organization. External environment includes socio-economic conditions and political conditions. Every organization has to prepare plans according to changing trends in the external environment. Next steps is analysis of internal environment. It can be otherwise called resource audit. Resource audit means an analysis of the strength and weakness of an organization. The determination of objective. The objectives of an organization are pre-planned. Defining the objectives of every department is a very essential one. Then only clear-cut direction is available to the department. Next steps, determining planning premises and constraints. Planning is based on forecasting. Forecasting means the assumption of and the anticipation of certain events. It implies a calculation of how certain factors will behave in future. Then examination of alternative course of action. The management should find alternative ways and examine them in the light of planning premises. Then evaluating alternative course of action. All the alternative are not suitable to an organization. So each alternative has its own strong and weak points. So evaluating all the alternatives to determine the best alternative. Then selection of the best alternative course of action. The selection of the best alternative is based on the evaluating of various alternatives. No partiality is shown while selecting the best alternative. In establishing the sequence of activities. The determined course of action is adopted for each selection or section or department, product for a quarter, month, week, etc. So finally, the manager should draft a final plan in definite terms. Then formulation of action programs. The term action programs include fixing time limit for performance, allocation of work to individuals and work schedule. These are necessary to achieve the objectives within the specified period. The next step is determining secondary plans. Secondary plan flow from the primary or basic plan. Preparation of secondary plan is necessary to exhibit the achievement of the basic plan. Then securing the participation of employees. Successful execution of any plan depends upon the extent of participation of employees. The management should involve employees in planning through communication, consultation and participation. The last step is follow-up and evaluation. There should be a system of follow-up. The management should watch how the planning is done. The continuous evaluation of planning is necessary. The actual performance is compared with the planning and then corrective action is taken. Thank you.